It is right now, I think, 9:35 in the morning, and as you can see, I'm at school, my campus, right now, and I just got finished reading the Naruto chapter, and I have to say that I fucking called it. If there has been any doubt in your minds that I'm not a fucking prophet like Nostradamus, then those doubts should be gone aside now, because I fucking called this, and I can't wait to get to do this fucking review. You have to admit, if you go back and you watch all my other videos, you have to admit that I did call this one. I said that Kakashi was going to have something to do with Ren's death. Whether this is real or not, he was going to have something to do with it. And a lot of people are taking this in like different perspectives or whatever. But the simple fact that he was crying, that lets me know that he was at least partially aware of what he was doing. Whether he thought he was killing a clone or some shit, I don't know. But he was aware that he was killing someone that had Ren's face because he cried. So I called it. I'm a fucking mind reader. Let's get into this review. The chapter starts off with Obito breaking that wall. He's wearing the swirl zetsu, like as a fucking like a jacket kinda or whatever. And he punches the wall, cracks it, breaks it open, and then he like, I'm bouncing. And then Madara's like, you leaving? And Obito's like, yeah. Thanks for saving me though. And then Madara's like, you'll be back. And then Obito's like, no, I'm leaving. You'll be back. Not Madara, I'm leaving. I'm never coming. You'll be back. You don't have to be Sherlock Holmes to detect that there's some foul shit in the air with that statement. You'll be back. You know, I'm pretty sure Madara, you know, set this whole thing up some type of way. Which is weird because even though I believe he had something to do with it, it's weird because he was sitting in that cave for the exact same amount of time that Obito was. So it is kind of weird that he would know enough to like set that in motion. Cause I don't even know if the Zetsus can go out that fucking far because they tracking shit through the ground. So I don't know. I don't know how he would set that up. But you can just tell by that statement that he knew shit was about to get real, and shit got real. After that though, you just see Obito just jumping through the trees and shit. He grabs a cloak before he leaves. I don't know why. I'm confused. Like, why did he grab the cloak before he left? He didn't need it. He just could have grabbed it. I mean, unless he was naked or some shit, but I don't know. He just could have grabbed it. He could. I mean, I'm sorry. He could have left it, but he grabbed the cloak. So why did you do that? You didn't need it. But yeah, he grabbed that cloak. He put it on, and he like heads out, jumping through the trees and shit. And he's talking to the Zetsu, and he's like, where are they? And then the Zetsu like, hey man, your girlfriend fucked. And I don't mean like this. The Zetsu says that they are surrounded by like Anbu and Jonin level fucking shinobi from the Hidden Mist, and something about experimental bodies. That's what he said. Something to do with experimental bodies. Clue number 2 in this fucking chapter, probably so. After this, Obito is like running through the trees still, and then all of a sudden he grabs his eye, and he gets like a fucking like a vision kind of like seeing Ren bleeding from the mouth a bit, and he can see clearly that she's been impaled in the chest. And he's like, I gotta get these thoughts out of my head, gotta get these thoughts out of my head. And as he's rushing through the brush, she's just getting it, just Forrest Gumping that bitch. He steps out the clearing. Kakashi has just stabbed Ren in the chest with his Chidori hand. And when I read that fucking page, I'm not even gonna lie, when I saw that picture, I almost jizzed. But when no, for real though, when I saw that picture, I was just kind of like, oh, okay, fuck, I was right. But then I was just kind of like, man, obviously this was set in motion, right? Obviously it was. We actually heard Madara tell Obito you'll be back. Okay, I don't know whether that was the real Rin that Kakashi stabbed. You know, dude said something about experimental bodies, and these are ninjas of the mist. They may have like some baller ass genjutsu or some shit. I have no idea. But unless Obito still has the mind of a fucking 13-year-old in a 30-something-year-old's body, I don't understand how he can not even come to the conclusion that Madara has something to do with this after hearing him say, "You'll be back." I mean, I can come to these conclusions now because I don't know how far. You know what I mean? We haven't got these chapters yet, so I don't know what's going on. We haven't gotten the new releases. You know, I have to keep waiting week by week. But unless he still has that same mindset, his motivation actually seems weaker now, because you know that this guy has something to do with it, and you're working with him. I mean, I'm not gonna sit up here and say that I don't think. This is my own personal philosophy, alright? But I don't think the world can be changed without getting your hands dirty. I mean, I know that may sound fucked up, but I think sometimes a little blood has to be shed for shit to change, whether it's for the negative or for the positive. But if it meant that if somebody killed my fucking brother, right? If my brother was to die in front of me, I'm just like, oh shit, my brother died or whatever, and he was just happened to be killed by a French guy, you know, and I just waged a war against France. But it turns out like my fucking dad had something to do with it, and my whole fucking anger towards them is wrong. It's almost like Obito's anger towards the world is almost like Sasuke's anger towards Itachi. It's ill noted. It's pretty much non-existent. It shouldn't exist. It shouldn't exist. That's all that happened in this chapter, and I will say it's better than last week's, because last week's was shitty, no pun intended. But it was better than last week's. Hopefully it will move forward and progress. If you could leave a thumbs up, man, and I will see you guys next. Why are these chapters coming out so early?